Yeah. One.
Okay.
Bismillah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First
Waalaikumsalam.
of all, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. In this occasion, we would like to have a presentation under the topic pluralism, a way towards peace or misguidance. Before the presentation begin, allow us to introduce the panelists. So the first panelist is Brother Anas, right?
Yes.
And the second panelist is Bro Shazwan. Both are from course Usuluddin and Comparative Religion, right?
Yep.
Okay. Without further ado, I will introduce myself first. Myself is Muhammad Hakimi bin Tanidi. Okay, so I would like to talk about religious pluralism. What is the difference between religious pluralism and religious plurality? So religious plurality is a description of phenomenon where there is many religion in this world. So the existence of many religion in this world, we call it religious plurality. Religious pluralism, for in the other hand, is beyond religious plurality. Religious pluralism can be understood as different religion dialogue and learn from each other without attempting to convince each other of the correctness of their belief. Another meaning of the term is pluralism means accepting the belief taught by religions other than one as valid, but not necessarily true. Okay, so I will ask the question to the first panelist, Bro Anas. Uh, the question is, what does Islam says about pluralism, and how does pluralism affect a believer's of faith? All right, bro. Anas, the floor is yours.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Right. Today we are going to talk about the first question is. The first question is. Very good. What does Islam says about pluralism? Okay. First of all, we need to know that it is stated in the Quran in Surah Al Imran, chapter 3, verse 19, that said, Inna dina indallahil Islam. That the only religion that is accepted by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is only Islam. No other religion is accepted except Islam, which means uh, the religion of Islam itself is a belief. Islam means peace. It's from the word salama, salam. Okay, so what I heard from what Dr. Zakir Naik said that Al-Islam means a submission uh, for peace to the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So, what does Islam say about mm, pluralism? Okay, as our brother Kimi said, pluralism is uh, pluralism means the state of being where every individual in religiously diverse society has the rights, freedom, and safety to worship or not, according to their conscience. Okay, so they have the right to to worship or not. Right, that is what the meaning of pluralism. Every person have their own rights and their own beliefs based on their faith. Okay, in the historical, in the Sirah Nabawiyah, okay, we can see that during the first hijrah of Prophet Muhammad SAW and the Muslimin during that time, where the first hijrah is at the Madinah, in the Madinah. Okay, as you can see how Islam begin in the Madinah with what we call Jahriyah. Jahriyah means open, but before that Islam was spread by or dakwah with Syria. Syria means close, while the Jahriyah is mean opens. Okay, in the Madinah, okay, when the hijrah to Madinah, Rasulullah stated that all the people, either Muslim or mushrikin or kafir at the Madinah, they have their own freedom of practicing their faith. There is no rules that said you must follow only Islam, but they have their own freedom to follow their own faith based on their previous religion, like what worshipping the statues, as we know in the Jahiliyah. Okay, and then there is also a pursuit of social justice and equality. There is not stated that, oh, this Kabilah have a higher position, this Kabilah has higher wealth. No, it is all equal. No speciality, no what we call al-khusus. It's only equal. And then there is also preservation of human dignity, which means human rights. That has been kept during the Rasulullah time. Okay, what does this all for? The Hijrah of Madinah, for their faith and their own what we call freedom of faith. It is for balance and harmony, the balance. While Muslims have their own path, the kuffar have their own path to believe in their God. Okay, so from here we can see that Islam itself during the Prophet ﷺ time, Rasulullah prohibit pluralism. Okay, Rasul did not prohibit pluralism, but as we can see now in nowadays, okay, I'm not sure this year or last year, okay, many incidents that involves such as terrorism and what we call Islamic phobia at the Europe. Okay, this will affect the harmony, the balance and the harmony between the Muslims that live in the European countries, non-Muslim countries, and the non-Muslim living in the Muslim countries. This has been what we call a major problem. Okay, I give you some example of the incidents, like in the how US invades Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, they were what we call colonized at their own land. Okay, Iraq and Afghanistan. Just how US United States make up their own stories to invade these two countries, and then the 9/11 the twin tower collapse. It's said to be the cause of this terrorism by Muslim. Allah Alam. Okay, and it's also in the Soviet bloc. Okay, so this has caused many bloodshed, and a lot of terrorism involves Muslim. Okay, but lately in the New Zealand and Australia, the terrorist attack at the mosque or masjid, terrorist attack at the mosque or masjid, this has also bring up the Muslim faith. Okay, so the question is, how does how does Islam says about pluralism? So basically, what I've learned, okay, Islam respects diversity of religion as a natural phenomenon in the historical development of religions. Islam respects. There's the keyword, respects. In dealing with pluralism in the Islam tradition, it has to be understood that the revelation of the youngest of Abrahamic faith actually found expression in a pluralistic world of religions. Okay, so Islam is an open religion, not a closed. But maybe it's how viewed by the news or on the news or the papers that reveals Islam is a terrorist religion. This is very, very false. Okay. So next, religious pluralism for Islam is not simply a matter of accommodating competing claims of religious truth in the private domain of individual faith. It was and remained inherently a matter of public policy in which a Muslim government must acknowledge and protect the divinely ordained right of each person to determine his or her spiritual destiny without coercion. The recognition of freedom of conscience in matters of faith in the cornerstone of Quranic notion of religious pluralism, both interreligious and interreligious. Okay. So does the Islam accept pluralism? Of course, yes, it also accept. But okay, there is a but. As long as it is not what we call, as long as it is not against the divine, not the divine, against their own belief. Nowadays we can see what many religion that have emerged in this new era, such as the what we call, as you can see, Ayah Ping, Ayah Ping. This is some kind of new. They have their own revelation that is considered. They call themselves as a Islamic religion, but it's not. It's completely false. They're using the name of Islam so that they can attract the Muslim to join their their teachings. Okay. And then lastly, for my point, okay, Islam self-understanding since its inception in the 7th century has included a critical element of pluralism, namely its relation to other religions, instead of denying the validity of the human experiences of the transcendence. Islam recognized and even confirms its salvic efficacy within the wider boundaries of monotheism. Monotheism means wahdaniyah. Wahdaniyah bermakna worshipping only one God. I hope that answer the question. Okay, thank you, moderator Kimi.
Okay, Brother Anas, thank you for the very good, informative, and interesting talk. Okay, we move to the second panelist, Brother Shazwan. Okay, Brother Shazwan, my question for you is, how does religious and is it a viable solution?
All right, thank you, Brother Kini. So firstly, to start answering this question, I would like to say that when exists multiple groups, exists competition between them, and with this competition, exists conflict and dispute. So here are some major factors which leads to the conflict or the dispute between multi-religious, between Islam, between Christianity, between Judaism, and many more. So first of all, we have the concept of exclusivism. And exclusivism is where a person believes that his only belief is the right one and intolerantly rejects the other's belief. And this may impact to maybe the rejection will impact in a physical, negatively physical way. And also other major factors in resulting the conflict between religion is the state, when the state power is organized by religious group and the relationship between the majorities and the minorities inside that nation. So doesn't mean that when state power is organized by a religious group doesn't mean that is it bad, but in fact it is based on how that group organize or authorize their power to the nation. So firstly, we see the politics, how politics in this matter affect negatively. So when a state power which is built from one certain religion, the majority somehow will oppress the minority religion, or in the economic way, when the minority is very successful and economically, somehow the majority will be envious to this group, and somehow they will surface a conflict between them. And also in an ethnical way, if a group of people, a religion, an ethnic group somehow they feel inferior, they feel superior to another. So with this kind of sense, with this kind of feelings, it can also result in a conflict between religion. And also finally, the religion itself, how the religions calls for people, for the believers to strive for the truth, somehow in a way, if the believers interpret this message in not in a good way, somehow it may result in religious dispute. So firstly, we want to see how pluralism provide a solution for inter-religious dispute. So we see what John Hick, or we can say the founder of pluralism, say how pluralism provides solution. So as we know, John Hick presented pluralism as believing that all religions are equally true in their truth claiming and equally true in their explanation of the essence of the God. So his belief correspond with the Hindus' belief in the book of Bhagavad Gita, which says that every religion in their own way in worshipping God is equally true. So theologically, the descriptions here, while people are attracted to pluralism, is not because the theology explanation, because that explanation is very shallow, but they accept this kind of belief is because the tolerance towards others. So the flaw in this solution is that it cannot provide solution for the other factor, for the socio-economic, politics, ethnic. It only can provide solution for the religious, but somehow this solution is very shallow and very flawed, because when we see every religion practice is equal, so we doesn't see the value. Even though religion may affect in religious dispute, but somehow we cannot deny that with religion comes with ethical values. So when we see every religion is equal, so we doesn't see the value in our own religion. So when we are blind to this value, somehow the ethics value is also gone. And with the vanishing of this value, somehow it's also affected in creating a dispute and also conflict. So another solution provided by pluralism is, instead of the equality, meaning the equal between religions, it provides as equality between the believers of religions, meaning that they're giving all the believers from each religion the same amount of rights. But this is also somehow flawed, because what we need is not equality. What we need is equity. And what is the difference between this is both? If I may explain it, somehow equality means that we are making everyone race starting from the same line. But that is not what we want. We want equity, meaning that it's not saying that everyone must start from the same line. We want everyone to finish at the same line, meaning instead of we provide everything with the same thing and let them grow on their own, what we want is for everybody to be successfully equal. so that even though that their start is not the same, but will provide every support that they need in order for them not only to success, but also to not be left behind. So the solution of providing equality between the believers of religion is also flawed. And resulting, what is the alternative that Islam provide to the problem of religious dispute? So if you guys are familiar with the term fiqh ta'ayyush, meaning the fiqh of ta'ayyush, which come from the word asha or aish, which means live. So fiqh ta'ayyush basically mean the way for the way of living, meaning the way for people of multiple religions to live together. So what Islam say is, it's not politically or economically or ethnically that creating the religious dispute, but somehow the main factor of creating this dispute is the extremism. Somehow, if people have economic power, state power, but they have greed, extremely greed in them, this will create disputes somehow. So what Islam provide is not to create equality, but to give equity, to give everybody the rights that they have, and also to provide the limitation for what we can do, so that we don't go over the board. To respect each other belief, not provoke, and respect each other practices, and also to create a harmony environment, to not offend any other religious belief. And that is how Islam provide the solution to religious dispute, which is with fiqh ta'ayyush, for people in the same nation with multiple religions to live together in harmony. And so that's my answer.
All right, thank you, Brother Shazwan. So, all right, finally we come to the end of our webinar. We would like to thanks again to the presenter for informative and interesting talk. Hopefully, this presentation will be beneficial to everyone. Thank you for giving your time and attention. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.